last time we talked a couple things about the app review guidelines and if and asking for ratings. Like, can you ask for a rating? Can you ask for a review? We know a lot of apps do the thing where they ask you if you like the app first. And if you say, oh my God, it's the best thing ever, then they say, hey, how about leaving us a review or a rating?
Right.
And then if you don't say it's the best thing ever, they go, oh, geez, tell us why. But they don't send you to the review prompt. And that's why I say, 4.5 is sort of the baseline ratings.
The minimum. I've actually that thing has stuck with me for a moment because when I was in training for work last week, there's an app that you can download to order food from the cafeteria, and that app had 2.5 stars, which I thought was pretty funny because it can't possibly be used by very many people, but maybe that's why it's only 2.5 stars. But it's a thing. It is important, and honestly, I don't prompt too often for the App Store review, but it is important for surfacing your app on the App Store. It's something that I need to probably focus on a little bit more.
Yeah. So I just did a little bit of follow up, a little research after that we talked last time to see what the app review guidelines say about it, and I found a couple things. Got a couple little snippets here. If you attempt to cheat the system, for example, by trying to trick the review process, steal data, et cetera, manipulate ratings, your apps may be removed from the store and you will be expelled from the Apple developer program. So that's pretty clear. Then there's another one that says apps must not force users to rate the app or review the app or a bunch of other things in order to access functionality, content, or use the app. It says App Store reviews can be an integral part of the app experience, so you should treat customers with respect when responding to their comments. Keep your responses targeted to the user's comments and do not include personal information, spam, or marketing in your response. And then it says, use the provided API to prompt users to review your app. This functionality allows customers to provide the App Store rating and review without the inconvenience of leaving your app. And then it says, and we will disallow custom review prompts, which makes it pretty clear that it's not allowed. And then there's another part under discovery fraud under 5.6.3 that says manipulating any element of the App Store customer experience, such as charts, search, reviews, or referrals to your app. Interesting. Erodes customer trust and is not permitted. Indications that you might not be meeting that expectation might include excessive customer reports about concerns with your app, such as negative customer reviews and excessive fund requests. So, and then it goes on to say inability to maintain high quality may be a factor in deciding whether a developer is abiding by the developer code of conduct. So, if you're going to have low quality reviews, that could get you kicked out, is how I read that.
I wonder how extreme that has to go, because I feel like there's a lot of low quality apps on the App Store. But if they're not getting reviews, maybe they're just not surfaced or they're not getting enough downloads. But what my question for you is what do you determine is a good place in your app to request a review? Like, do you use a timer? Do you use a certain number of interactions? Where do you put that trigger?
Well, I'll tell you where Apple says you should put it. They say, and this is not in the app review guidelines, but in the Apple Human Interface guidelines says, I grabbed a couple quotes out of here. Ask for a rating only after people have demonstrated engagement with your app or game. And then it says, consider allowing at least a week or two between requests. And it says, prefer the system provided prompt. And that does appear to contradict the App Store review guidelines just above, where we just talked about, that said that they may disallow. They say may or will. What do they say? We will disallow custom review prompts. But the human interface guidelines say prefer the system provided prompt.
Prefer. Interesting.
So,
right.
They prefer you to design by using the system provided prompt, but they will disallow custom review prompts when they review your app. As well as how I read that. So, I think the thing that a lot of the apps are doing, which is, asking you how you feel about the app, and then if you say it's great, then you send them to the review prompt, is maybe not okay.
Sure. Right. That would be a custom review prompt.